if more agents are appreciative and showing their clients like they're really working, because they don't know what we do. I mean, we're putting out fires left and right
Mm-hmm.
and all doing it with a smile. So I think sometimes it's just letting them know that we appreciate them.
My name is Kevin McIntosh, and this is the Closing Table, where we talk to experts about their experience in real estate all across the country. Let's go. Welcome back to the Closing Table. I am your host, Kevin C. McIntosh, and joining us on this episode, of course, we have the pleasure of speaking with another top producing real estate agent. He goes by the name Martin Samarco. What's going on, Marco?
Hey, how you doing, man? It's definitely a pleasure to be on the closing table, and I'm happy to do this podcast with you.
Yeah, my man. I appreciate you for being here. Thanks for your energy and taking time out of your very busy schedule, by the way, and accepting our invitation. We appreciate that. So let's get down to the nitty gritty, man. We're here to talk about real estate, educate myself and our audience with your knowledge and your experience. But before we even get into that, let's loosen up with an icebreaker I got for you, Marco. It's called word association. I got a couple words, all associated with real estate. I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind when I throw them out there, whether that's another word, a sentence, a phrase, a definition, story, whatever. Are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. First one, appreciation.
Oh, I mean, anybody that's in real estate love appreciation, from homeowners to real estate agents.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you buy an asset, you want it to appreciate it. That way, if you ever needed to sell, you can get that return on your investment. Or if
In
you ever
fact,
needed to pull that equity out, you can pull whatever um, appreciating value you have out of your home.
agree. Next one, Airbnb.
Airbnb got a love and hate relationship with it.
Mm.
I do like the platform. Um, I don't like how some of the major cities don't allow you to purchase Airbnbs, because I do think it's a great way to build wealth. I just think that um, it's kind of hard to do it in some of the major cities. I think Detroit would be a great city to have Airbnbs, but it's very hard to kind of monopolize the Airbnb platform.
Interesting right there. Interesting. Might have to get
But
back
I
to that.
love it. But I
Yeah.
love Airbnbs when I travel, because it gives me that home feel, and I'd rather be in a home than a hotel, depending on where
Really?
I'm at.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
depending on where I'm at. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. All right, I got another one for you. For sale by owner, FISBOs, what they usually call it.
Oh, I love them. I mean, I'm always gonna uh, negotiate them down. I mean, I'm just gonna nitpick. They don't have an agent backing behind. They don't have an
Mm-hmm.
agent backing them. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna nickel and dime them, and then they look up, they're down 15, 20%.
Oh my God. You said it, not me. I appreciate the
So,
honesty.
I'm just being honest.
There we go. There we go. Property management.
Property management, I don't really have nothing bad to say about a property manager. They normally get 10% of the reoccurring rents. Nothing
Mm-hmm.
bad to say. I mean, I think they play an integral part in real estate, and they don't get what they deserve. I think have, they are the best friends with the landlords and the
Mm-hmm.
property owners. But I think for them to grow, they have to scale their business and get a lot of units, and they don't get
Yep.
the credit they deserve.
That's a good point. I like that perspective. Last one, pre-qualification.
I'd rather have a pre-approval. A pre-qualification just means you're on track to going out in the market. Give me
Mm-hmm.
a pre-approval so I know you're ready, and then I can help educate you and do my job to get you in the market and looking at homes.
I like that. I like that response right there. That gives some clarification. All right, cool. Appreciate that, Marco. Good track that we on right now. So this next part is where I want you to take over the floor and in 60 seconds or less, tell us, who is Marco outside of real estate?
I'm a father of three. I have I have two daughters and a son, Mariah, who's 15, Marae, who's 7, soon to be 8, and then my son, Marshawn, aka Baby Beast Mode, he's 3. So I'm a father first and foremost. Um, Besides being a parent, I love to have fun. I'm
Mhm.
really big on energy. I'm really big on being around positive people. And I'm just a person who loves to evolve and um, do things that are fun. I love to, prior to having a few injuries, I love to work out. I love to play basketball, obviously. And I just love to be around good people. I love to travel. The biggest thing in life is just to always continue to evolve to me.
Nice, nice. Well said. Love to hear that, man. Well, thank you for giving us a little bit more insight into your life and things like that, man. So I like to, have that segment so, we can get more about the person than the profession in most cases. So in this next part, I want you to kind of, you gave us a little bit of insight, but tell us a little bit more about the market that you currently serve. If you can, describe your market in two different ways. One, tell us exactly where you are geographically. Give as much details as possible, any notable landmarks, things in the area, things like that. Paint the picture for anybody who may have never been to your market. Then I want you to go into some of the economics. What's going on there in the real estate world in your market?
Okay. Grew up in Ypsilanti, Michigan. I cover Metro Detroit. So I am 45 minutes northeast, southwest of Detroit. No matter what direction, I'll cover it. Um, so the market in the Metro Detroit area is still moving as far as good properties. If it's priced right and it's a really nice property, it's
Mm-hmm.
gone. I mean, I'm holding open houses where I'm getting 30 or 40 people coming in.
Mm,
So the inventory is still low. Um, I have seen that the buyers have slowed down as far as over the last 3 years. I mean, it was just a plethora of buyers because of the interest rates.
right.
So now I see you have to be more strategic, you have to be more skilled, and you have to be more assertive in your business. And you have to go back to the basics. You have to go back to um, cold calling if you're a cold caller. You have to go back to
Right.
calling your spear. You have to pretty much double down on your business because we were in a market where we were blessed to anything we threw on the market was selling in record times. So the Metro Detroit market is a really diverse market, but it's also the most residential houses in the U.S. So we do get a lot of ample opportunity because of the uh, three automakers. That's why
Mm.
these houses were made, and um, various other reasons.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I love that, man. I love the Metro Detroit market. Being from that area myself, very unique, and it usually takes someone who's familiar with the area to really know the true value or potential that market has. So, love for you to paint that picture. Let's talk about you now. Finding out about you, Marco. Interesting paths that led up to where you are right now. More specifically, your transition from a professional basketball player to real estate. Very, very intriguing. Can you share a specific moment or realization where during your basketball days you kind of had a spark into thinking about switching your career into real estate?
Well, it kind of just fell in my lap.
Mm.
I was 32 years old and I was selling my first house. And I had a young realtor. He was 24 years old. He wound up selling his mom house, our house, and then he moved to Atlanta. So I did the math. I'm like, dang, he made about 15 grand, 24 years old. That's pretty good money. So I literally um, went and got my license literally the next week.
Word.
And
Mm.
I always been good with numbers, and I just couldn't unsee what I saw, from the young, young guy, and I was just like, all right, I got to figure this out. You know, I don't think he's smarter than me, but let's see.
Right.
So went and took the class and got my license. So that's what
Nice.
started my journey.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So it's interesting. I'm gonna be honest. When you said that, I'm thinking like, man, you just counting his pockets like that. But I get it though. It's inspired. It inspired you more than anything. You thinking, wow, he's young, he's ambitious, he seems
Mm-hmm.
successful, and he just did what, a
Mm-hmm.
few transactions involving me and other
Mm-hmm.
people that I know. Like, it seems like this is working out for him. How can I take advantage? How can I get involved in this too? So I
Right.
understand that side, but the humorous side of me is like, man, he counting his pockets, man. But I love it though. I love it. It inspired you and,
I mean, he was a
and
great
landed where you
agent.
are. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a really good agent. But I had already been negotiating my own contract after like year three or year four playing
uh,
overseas.
okay.
So I've always been good with numbers, and I just couldn't see it. Like I kept watching my value go up and go up and go up. And then I seen Amazon that came and built the factory. So I knew these workers were going to need homes. And I just was like, all right. And then it just like, all right, it doubled. So I was like, all right, I got to figure this out. And then I
Interesting.
was left without a realtor. So I wound up going through the new construction process after we sold our first house. So I was like, all right, this realtor just got both sides of the deal. And then I was
Mm-mm.
like, you just missed out on another sale because
Yeah.
you left us with nothing. So
Yeah.
I was like, all right, so we just dished out, okay, close to 25,000. And then I don't have a realtor, so I was like, I just start feeling uncomfortable.
That's real.
And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, let me get my license so I'll never be in this situation again.
Love that. Love that. That's usually the thought of, how entrepreneurs start. They see a hole in the market, or they see a problem that they feel like they can solve better, and they dive right into it. Start looking into the numbers, start looking into some facts, and you go from there, man. So that says a lot about you right there. I want to continue to touch on your professional basketball background, because with you having those skills and everything, can you explain how coming from that background helped you master the art of teamwork and collaboration, which is usually required in real estate? And then can you actually talk about how you translate those skills into your real estate practice? And I don't know if this is throwing too much on it. And I also want to see, have you ever like helped a fellow professional basketball player in real estate also?
Absolutely. So the biggest thing basketball allowed me to do is to structure my day. And being an athlete, we are very structured. So normally it's getting up super early, going to your first practice.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
overseas you have two practices. You have a morning practice and an evening practice. So normally I would get up, get some breakfast, go to practice, and then after first practice, go to lunch, and then take a nap, get ready for the evening practice. So all I did was just transition into real estate. All right, morning I'm getting up, getting breakfast, going to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
my practice, and then I'm prospecting.
Mm-hmm.
So then after prospecting, I'm going to have lunch, and then the evening practice would be going to show homes. And if I
Right,
don't have
right.
showing homes, I'm still prospecting. So it was an easy transition because when I was playing basketball, I was making decisions in 24 seconds. So depending on my gameplay, you can be fired. And then your coach, your GM was, job was on the line. The coach job was on the line. Your
Mm-hmm.
teammates job was on the line. Your job was on the line because there's no union or no guaranteed contracts.
Right.
So it was always a pressure situation. So
I
being
get it. I get it.
in real estate,
Yep.
and I'm dealing with the most pressure someone usually feels in their life because of the magnitude of the transaction, it
Mm-hmm.
was kind of that same pressure again. So I didn't take it lightly. I didn't play with it when I came into real estate. I took it very serious. And it was just learning how to do a transaction, learning the proper terms, learning, building my team out.
Right.
So, trying to make it as seamless as possible. So if I'm working with a first time buyer, they don't have to go through the normal bumps in the road. I'm trying to take that out of the process. And I also been through it twice, so I understand it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good
Um,
point.
So I start priding myself in seamless transaction and how I can um, do it as easy as possible. Because a lot of times when you're dealing with a first time home buyer, they're just signing stuff. They don't even know what they're doing. So my biggest thing was just educating them and making them feel comfortable. And then whatever question they do have, making sure I answer it. And if I don't have it, get the proper answer. Don't just wing it. Um, so as far as working with professional athletes, that is my goal. I want to get to the level where I am working with some of the top athletes with some of our sports team, or just in the U.S. I have worked with um, a few overseas clients. I have worked with some of my friends that I used to hoop with here locally. So I
Mm-hmm.
have done some transactions. My first year, I was able to work with Kenny Galladay when he played for the Lions. I helped him
Okay,
get a
that's what's up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he didn't buy here, and the team didn't give him that big payday. He went and got it in New York, but that was a
Mm-hmm.
great experience because I got to work with his team. He was with CAA, so I got to work with the agency, and I got to see that side of the things too. And it was a
Nice.
cool experience.
Nice. Yeah, that is nice, man. Once upon a time I had my license as a mortgage loan originator, and that was something that I learned that there's literally special programs for athletes and professionals in that type of lane, like where they were all like, it was a loan where they would give you a huge amount, but they know that you would be able to pay it off eventually after like
Yeah,
your contract goes through and that type of thing. And
yeah,
from the outside looking in, you never think about that. But then when I was going through it
mm-hmm,
and studying, like, oh, that's how these athletes get into these homes and do this and that. And it was
mm-hmm.
just interesting to me. So I could see that. I could see that being a goal of yours also, being a professional athlete or former professional athlete of yourself, and then wanting to actually, help those same type of professionals, man. Man, good luck in that endeavor, man. That's nice. You will get there, and that's gonna be
Thank you,
interesting. That's gonna be interesting
thank
too,
you,
man.
thank you.
Let's talk about dealing with difficult and demanding clients. Have you had this type of situation in your career? And if so, can you talk about it and talk about how you handle
Ooh, I think all of the real estate agents across the U.S. have dealt with these difficult clients where they're calling you 7:30, 8 in the morning, and it's like I haven't even started my day yet, and they're already
it?
on 10. Um, so, so for me, I've been big on just making sure I'm calm and I'm always finding a solution.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, those type of clients, you're basically just putting out fires because their anxiety is too high. They haven't been through this they haven't been through this process in a long time, and then they just sometimes they just have trust issues. So what I try to come from just a place of helping them, let them know I'm thankful for the opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
and let them know we're going to get there, but it can't be rushed. You know, it's not like I can just sell your house tomorrow, or I can help you get this house tomorrow. Like it's a process that has to go take place.
Correct.
So it's just reassurance and just letting them know that we're on the same team.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, trust in the professional that you hired more than anything. That's what I would say, because I mean, you chose to work with that agent. No one's forcing you to work with these agents. You kind of choose that, whether they're recommended to you or not. So if you're going to work with them, then why not also let them do their job and, lead, follow their lead type thing. So it always,
Well,
go, no, go ahead, please, please.
well, I don't mean to cut you off, Kevin, but I think sometimes uh, agents have gotten a bad rap.
Mm,
You know, like car salesmen, and they don't talk about this side of the industry, but there are, like in any industry, there are good and bad.
correct.
So if if we don't highlight that side of things and let them know that no, it's just not about a profit. Like, no, I'm gonna if you invite me to the wedding, I'm gonna attend. I'm gonna attend the birthday party if I'm invited, and let them know that no, it's more than just a transaction. Like we can literally be friends and potentially become family. I've
Hmm.
got invited into a lot of events, and I go to them.
Okay.
And I'm not saying like all my clients are my best friend, but I do enjoy people. I do enjoy learning about them. I do enjoy the mind and makeup to how they got to the level they got to in their life and career. And that's something that's always been intriguing to me, just the study of human behavior.
Mm.
Um, yeah, yeah. So I think it's just letting them know that I'm coming from a place where I'm just solely trying to help.
Right,
And
right.
that's it. I'm not trying to get over on you. I'm not trying to be sleazy. And I think if more agents are appreciative and showing their clients like they're really working because they don't know what we do. I mean, we're putting out fires left and right
Mm-hmm.
and all doing it with a smile. So I think sometimes it's just letting them know that we appreciate them.
Yeah. Yeah. Making them feel comfortable, helping them put down
Hmm.
that guard type of thing. And that's all with, building that rapport and sharing the knowledge that you have. That way they're informed and they can make informed decisions. So,
Yeah, and communicating with them, letting them
yep.
know, letting them be in the know of
Mm-hmm.
what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. True, true, true. So you have a range of working with first-time home buyers all the way to experienced and seasonal investors, especially in the Metro Detroit market. You have any stories that you can share where you help someone seize a good deal or good investment in that area, and where was something that has stuck out to you, one of your most memorable sales for investments in the Metro Detroit area?
Yeah, I do. So, about a year and a half ago, this guy reached out to me on Instagram and he was like, "Hey, I like um, your Instagram. You seem like a really good guy. You seem like a family man, blah, blah, blah." I was like, "Hey," so he was like, "I'm looking to buy a property in Detroit. I'm from California."
Mm.
So at first, I'm like, I don't know if it's real or not. So we get on the phone, we continue to talk. He's from originally from Toronto, but moved to LA. So as
Mm.
we continue to talk, I start showing him properties, but the kick was all the properties I was showing him was through FaceTime.
Right.
So as I'm showing him properties, we finally find one we like, and it was on the east side of Detroit. So it wound up being a duplex where there was a tenant in the bottom, and the tenant upstairs was vacant.
Okay.
I mean, the unit upstairs was vacant.
Mm-hmm.
So showed them the property. We put an offer in. We go under contract. So once we go under contract, we wind up getting a deal on it, and the house wind up appraising for 400,000. The duplex.
Woo.
Right. And then the bottom unit, um, the tenant wanted to renew their lease for 2 years at 1,800. And then what happened was my client, after we closed the deal, he was looking for a property management company. And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, I don't want to go with a big property management company. So he wind up hiring a property management company, and the property management company never did anything from him. So
Oh.
I follow up and I'm like, "Hey, how you doing? Do you need any help?" So he's like, "Yeah, the property manager are not reaching out to me. The unit is still vacant." So I was like, "All right, this is what we'll do. I'll put a game plan in place. I'll run some stuff on social media, and I'll find you a tenant." So I wind up finding him over like 30
Nice.
applicants. So what happened was there was a lady who wanted to do a 2 year lease, but she put down some of her referrals, and one of the referrals, it was like the recovery unit. So as my clients are going through the applicants, they didn't choose her because it said recovery unit. They thought she was coming out of a it's a they thought she was coming out of rehab.
Oh,
But
okay.
but the recovery unit was her previous landlord. So this lady missed out. She was overqualified for it. And she only wanted to stay there because it was close to her job. So we wound up
Mm.
putting another tenant in there for 2 years. And everything worked out smoothly. Still to this day, my clients has never seen the property.
Really? Out in
And we
California,
did
never.
they never came. They gotten
That
their
is
rent
crazy.
on they got her rent on time, and they haven't had any issues. Like I literally took care of everything. The lock boxes, the keys, letting the tenants in. everything. And to the day, the lady who sold us the duplex, the agent on the other side, I seen her at an event, and she came up and gave me the biggest hug, like, Marco, I can't believe it. Because she was pregnant at the time, the seller's agent. She's like, I can't believe you sold this unit without your clients ever seeing the property. So
Crazy.
what I tell anybody, once I work with you, you become like family. And
Mm,
I'm very honest, and I just treat everybody, with the utmost respect. And I just, you know, come come from a loving place, to be honest.
love it. Love it, man. I got a couple questions about that first and foremost. They never saw the property. So I'm assuming you said they got the appraisal.
Physically, they never seen it
Right,
physically.
right, physically, and which still makes a big difference because there's
Hmm.
smells and other different things that you can't get. But I'm assuming they got the appraisal, they got the inspection, and I'm assuming there was no major
Yep.
damages needed to be repaired or
No,
anything. Really? So they
no,
pretty much
because
got a
the
pretty good turnkey property.
yep. Yep.
Wow.
So the duplex was renovated, and that's crazy. You say smell. So even down to a smell, I'm letting my clients what it is. And I told them, I said, hey, the bottom unit, they got it. They got about two or three cats. I
Okay.
said, so it does smell like cat, and there is an odor. So even through something that's so small, I'm telling you what's going on. And I
That
got
is
a
so
sensitive
funny.
nose, so I'm letting you know, like, it's a little shaky.
Yeah, the funny side, I don't know why I'm so immature, but the other side of me, I'm thinking, how do you describe certain smells? Some smells you just can't describe. So you go through something, it smells a little, I don't know. But that's
Oh, you
good
know the
though. But that's
words.
what you,
It's a PG channel. You know the words to say.
but that's good though. I love that. So with your help, not only did they never come out here to see their property physically. They're in California, you're in Michigan. They get the inspection, they get the appraisal, nothing really wrong with it. You walk through, you give them the full description. It's turnkey. You help them get property management, which I want to ask. So you already helped them close on a property. So you get your
Hmm.
commission from that. So you're technically
Hmm.
not getting paid for these extra things that you're helping them with, correct?
That is correct, but I did get paid on finding them a tenant.
Ah, so this was something that
Yep.
they just decided through their
Yep.
discretion to actually, compensate you for that service, correct?
Yep. Yep. So, well, the top unit was vacant, so we just ran it like a regular lease.
Right, 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 right. But what
Yeah.
I'm
So
saying
I
is they
did
weren't
get
obligated
compensated
to
on
pay you
that.
for that, correct?
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
since we
okay.
had put it on the market, yes, they were obligated because we put it
Ah,
back on
I
the
get it.
market for
I get it.
lease.
Okay, I didn't
Yep,
know
for
that. Okay, that
lease.
makes
Yep.
sense.
Yep.
Huh, that makes sense. Okay, I'm
Yep.
glad you're here to straighten that out. Okay. But and still that just goes to show how you go above and beyond. You reached out to your client to find, make sure everything was good. And then you still went and did everything that you could to actually help this person. That is amazing. With them
Oh
never
yeah.
physically being to the property. That speaks volumes to your work,
On
man. I gotta applaud you.
Oh, thank you. On top of the first contractors, no, not the contractors, the first property managers took all the keys. So I had to go get all the keys remade at Home Depot.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, that's
Oh.
some minor, but I was taking care of literally everything.
It's minor, but it's very petty. So let's just put that out there.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay.
Exactly.
Man, okay, so let's talk about other obstacles that you may have been through, if we want to call that an obstacle. Can you describe a time when you faced a setback or an obstacle during a real estate transaction and how you overcame it and what lessons you learned?
Sometimes I learn sometimes less is more. Sometimes like when a transaction is coming down to numbers and a seller just don't want to budge and they're just stubborn even though you might have told them in the seller consultation, hey, I think your property is worth this much, and they're like, no, but I think I want to go higher. Okay, it's fine to go higher, but when the appraisal come back and I literally told you this what the number was going to be, and it comes back at that number, and you don't want to sell. So now you're like, can you reduce your commission? Can you do this? Can you ask the buyer agent to do this? What I've learned is sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to make the deal work.
Hmm.
Because sometimes it's not about you, it's about the client. And I had to learn that the hard way because I've lost out on deals, and it's literally coming down to the fourth quarter. I mean, we're about to close, and everybody's playing hardball. The seller, the, me being the seller's agent, the buyer's agent, and nobody want to budge. So I think something is better than nothing. So if it's 7 or 8 thousand, why not come to a happy medium to make sure this transaction closed?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, everybody will be happy. You might not be happy as you would be, but you still came in this end. You got to remind yourself why you got in the industry, and it was to help people.
Yeah.
Everything is not going to be uh, peachy. So that's one thing I've learned, and um, not not being combative, just taking my pride out of the transaction
Of course.
and trying to make it a win for everybody. Yes, I represent my seller, so that's why I'm always honest. Like, hey, you have to do, you may have to fix this roof. You may have to fix this. So let's not forget about that. Let's think about when you was buying a house. Would you want to sell this, this property in this condition?
Yeah.
Would you, like to receive it like this? So, let's be fair.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I 100% agree with that. And that goes back to the other question we were talking about, or the other thing we were talking about with clients pretty much not putting their full trust in the people that they hire. Like, what is the point of me even being here? And then, you're going as far as to ask me to lower my commission, and that's why I'm not built for that position. That's why it's people like you who can handle that, because I would look at you like you're speaking Chinese if you ask me to lower my commission. Like, you don't go to any other job and ask someone, hey, can you take your
Exactly.
pay down a little bit so that I can benefit more? Well, who does that? Like, what?
Right.
No, you want me to take
Right.
food out of my kid's mouth to feed you? It doesn't even make sense. So you got to handle it professionally, and it seems like you do.
Hmm.
So, kudos to you and your patience. You
Oh,
have the
thank
patience
you.
of a nun.
Right, because
Something
you're
I
not
don't
going to the dentist. Right, you're
have.
not going to the dentist like, can you remove this tooth for,
Right.
half the price?
Can you show me the
Can
love on
you can you
removing my wisdom
operate on this?
teeth?
Right. Can you operate on my knee and
Right.
give me a discount? Like what?
You get a discount doctor, man. Can you
Hmm.
you talk about any properties that you've seen that has some type of unconventional feature or a layout that it was initially turning potential buyers off, but you were able to kind of flip the perspective to make it, to bring the beauty out? And can you talk to us how you guided people through that perspective?
Well, I think as as a real estate agent, we kind of go through this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And this on a scale of you bought this house 20, 30 years ago and you want, top dollar for it. You want the premium of what the market is giving out. And it's like, okay, let's be realistic. You didn't do nothing. It's literally bacon grease on the
Yeah.
walls.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's be realistic in what we're trying to get in the market. And then sometimes you may have to, all right, let's test the market. Okay, we can test the market. And then you see you're not getting the amount of activity that you want. Okay, so let's pull it off and let's correct the things that need to be corrected. So
Mm.
I think real estate agents go through that a lot. Now I have seen some properties where, there's carpet in the bathroom, literally.
I've seen that.
Like
I see.
like so
I've
I never
seen.
sold one of those properties, but I'm just giving an example. They do exist. I have been
Yeah.
in the houses. I'm like, come on, what? It's one of, come on, man. Like one of those. What are you thinking? What
Let
are
me
you
tell
doing?
you, I've been to people's homes where they had carpet in the bathroom, and I'm gonna tell you, when you handle your business, it's pretty comfortable. But when you got to clean up, it's probably not the best thing to do. It's not the
I,
best idea.
I only can imagine. I haven't never used that type of toilet or that type of bathroom. Don't plan on it.
Man,
Yeah.
feet nice and warm. You don't have to worry about it being cold. Like it's. I'm talking mess, man. I'm talking, man. I appreciate your sense of humor, Marco.
Right. They got the heated stools. No,
Right.
I'm playing.
The bidet and whatnot. Hey, your
Oh my
emphasis on
goodness.
maximizing profits for sellers, I took note to that. Can you provide an example of a creative strategy that you implemented to exceed a seller's expectations and achieve an exceptional outcome?
I kind of just touched on it. So they wanted
Okay.
top dollar for their property, and we tested the market and we couldn't get top dollar. So I was like, hey, let's take it off and let's take care of A, B, and C. Let's paint the whole house. Let's put carpet in here. Let's paint it a neutral color. Let's really touch up. So, and I say this to all homeowners: if you want to get premium dollar when it is time to sell, continue to keep your house up. I'm not saying you have
Okay.
to update it every year, but continue to keep it up. If you see the deck needs to be scrape and paint it. That's something so minor, but on the grand scheme of things, like it just looks good. It's good aesthetics for your homes because most people are visual, and then most buyers don't have creativity, so they
Correct.
fall in love with your creativity because they can picture themselves in your home. So, making sure you have a nice kitchen, making sure you have a nice master suite. Those are things that people pay attention right off the bat.
Yeah, yeah. Good point. Good point. Good point right there. All right. So you kind of answered that question already. That was a good point. So I have a bonus question for you then, Marco. Throughout your career and your experience, what have you learned about yourself, the real estate industry, and the importance of serving others?
The biggest thing I've learned for myself is making sure I take care of uh, my health and my mentals. And because I came in where it was COVID, so I came in the industry. I was in shape. I was always been vibrant, but I was in shape, and I was playing basketball with my friends 3 times a week. And then
Mm-hmm.
when COVID stopped, I stopped working out, and I looked at and seen like I started gaining a lot of weight, and I looked at that my mentals wasn't always sharp as it once was. So I just started diving back into working on myself first. How can I go help somebody in the world and I'm not on my A game? So taking care of myself first and foremost, and then going out to help my clients because it is a demanding job. You don't. Everybody say, "Oh, you get to set your schedule." No, you don't. I'm working off my client's schedule.
Technically, yep. Yep.
Yeah, I'm putting them in a box or where
Yeah.
I want them, but sometimes you can't. You got to go show 10 to 15 houses because you're dealing with so many different clients.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when you go into a whole different dynamic where you got to scale and get you a buyer's agent and all those,
Right.
jazzy things. But so I think for me, it's just learning, um, especially when I came in being a newer agent, it's just learning to take care of yourself first and then um, taking care of your day to day grind because you still have, like me, I have 3 kids. You still have your kids. You still
Mm-hmm.
gotta make sure you're there and do the things that they need in their lives. So it's just having that balance.
Yeah. 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 No, well played. I would pretty much say the same thing, man, which is an everyday struggle to have that balance between work and life and, any other things that you might have going on. So I can
Yeah, because
respect
it's
that.
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard
Oh
because
yeah.
anytime you want to reach, greatness or levels that are extraordinary, it's hard to find a
Oh
balance.
yeah. Yeah. Oh man, talk
It
about it.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Talk about it. I got a question for you. I feel is very, very valuable here at the closing table for an audience who are potential home buyers and sellers. Knowing what you know now, using today's resources. If you are in 2023 in today's market an inspiring first-time home owner, what approach would you take to owning a home in today's conditions?
The first step, I will get with a agent who's very knowledgeable and who's going to educate you through the process. And the reason why I say educate you because sometimes as a first time home buyer, you're thinking you want your dream house
Mm-hmm.
when sometimes it's better to take baby steps.
Yeah.
Get a nice starter house that you can grow into and you can still live the lifestyle you have accumulated. Like, there's no point of becoming a first time home buyer and then being house broke, where you have to literally work your butt off to keep this house.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, I want you to keep a certain lifestyle and let's grow. And as you grow in your career, you're going to grow in other areas in your life and you'll be able to get that house you want or deserve.
Mm.
So I think, for first time home buyers, that would be my um, number one tip.
Yeah, yeah. Well played, man. I think that's how you get a strong foundation throughout the process. If you start there, you can work with someone who's knowledgeable, who can point you in the right direction, and someone who has resources available also for most of your
Correct.
needs throughout the process. So I would agree with that right there, Marco. Well, thank you so much again for accepting our invitation and pulling up a chair right here to the closing table. We appreciate that. At this point, if you have any last words and or want to tell people how to reach out to you, please do so now.
Okay. Yep. You can reach out to me on Instagram. My Instagram page name is Samarco Group. If you want to contact me on there, I'll reach out to you in less than 24 hours. Um, and thank you for tuning in. I'm appreciative for having me on this podcast. And to all my sellers out there, hit me up. I can get you top dollar.
Talk about it. It's right there. Appreciate that again, Marco. And for our YouTube audience watching right now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, do us both a favor and hit the like button, please. And thank you. Make sure you also share and subscribe to our channel. And if you are listening on Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast platforms, please do the same. Give us a like, give us a 5-star rating, and subscribe for our latest content. Marco, I'm going to leave the audience with a question before they leave the chat to get their brains going. So this is for you, audience. Have you ever worked with a realtor who had an interesting career prior to real estate? And how did it affect how you perceive them as a professional? Don't tell us now. Leave it in the comments below. Besides that, we'll talk to you next time.